You know, if your work life feels more chaotic and stressful than ever, I'm here to tell you, you are not imagining it. We are right in the middle of this massive, massive shift that's basically rewriting all the rules of how we work. So in this explainer, we're going to dig into the data behind that chaos, and then we're going to explore the new blueprint for work that's starting to emerge. And you guessed it, it's all powered by AI. Okay, let's jump right in.
Let's start with a number that might feel, I don't know, a little too real. 275. According to Microsoft's latest Work Trend Index, that's how many times, on average, a knowledge worker gets interrupted by meetings, emails, or chat notifications every single day. Think about that. That's a ping about once every 2 minutes of the workday. I mean, no wonder it's impossible to get into a state of deep focus.
And of course, this frantic pace, it creates this crazy domino effect that follows us all the way into our meetings. Check out this number, 122%. That is the spike in last-minute edits people make to a PowerPoint in the 10 minutes right before a presentation is supposed to start. It's wild. We're not just working constantly, we're literally working right up to the very last second.
So the big takeaway here is that this feeling is pretty much universal. Nearly half of all workers say their work feels chaotic and fragmented. So if you're feeling that way, you are definitely not alone. It's this shared experience of being completely overwhelmed by digital debt and just the constant pressure to be on. But what's actually driving all this?
This feeling of being pulled in a million different directions at once? It isn't just a symptom of bad management or, too many emails. It's a sign of much, much larger forces at play. We're living through this period of incredibly intense global change, and our workplaces, well, they're right on the front lines.
According to the World Economic Forum, there are 5 of these huge macro trends that are fundamentally reshaping our entire world of work. First, we've got this massive wave of AI and automation. At the same time, we're navigating a global green energy transition. Then you have to add in the persistent economic uncertainty, major demographic shifts, and all this fragmented global trade. I mean, any one of these would be like a hurricane of change on its own. But all of them together, it's a perfect storm, and it's hitting our workplaces right now.
Okay, so things are chaotic, but crisis, well, it breeds innovation, right? And out of all this pressure, a new model is starting to emerge. The companies that are actually going to survive and thrive in this new era, they won't look anything like the ones we know today. They're evolving into something totally new, something the Work Trend Index calls the frontier firm.
So what on earth is a frontier firm? Well, it's a new kind of organization that's built specifically for this new reality. It treats intelligence not as something that's just locked up inside a person's head, but as a resource that you can tap into on demand, whenever you need it. And the core of this whole model is the hybrid team, humans working right alongside AI agents.
Now, this whole transformation isn't going to happen overnight. It's more of a journey, really, in 3 phases. Phase 1 is where a lot of us are right now. We're using AI as an assistant, to help us do our current jobs a little bit better. Phase 2 is where things get really interesting. AI agents become actual digital colleagues on our teams. And then by Phase 3, entire business processes will be operated by agents, with humans stepping back to provide the high-level direction and strategy.
So let's drill down into this a little bit. How are these hybrid teams actually going to work? Because this is where we're going to see a really fundamental shift in everything from the company org chart to the skills that we value the most.
This quote from Harvard's Karim Lakhani just perfectly captures the scale of the change we're talking about. Think about it. We have human resources to manage people. We have IT to manage technology. He's saying a new department is going to emerge to manage a company's portfolio of artificial intelligence. Intelligence itself is about to become a core managed business function.
And to manage this brand new resource, leaders are going to need a new metric, the human-agent ratio. And getting this balance right is absolutely critical. If you have too few agents, you're just leaving productivity on the table. But if you have too many, you can completely overwhelm human oversight, and that leads to burnout and just plain bad decisions. Finding that sweet spot, that optimal balance, that's going to be a huge source of competitive advantage.
And hey, this shift, it's not theoretical. It's already happening. Projections from the World Economic Forum show that the share of tasks done mostly by people is set to drop pretty significantly in just the next 5 years. Now, this doesn't mean humans are becoming obsolete. What it means is that the nature of our work is changing, shifting away from doing and more toward overseeing, using our judgment and our creativity. Okay, so that's the big picture for organizations. But let's bring this down to you. What does all of this actually mean for your career? Well, to put it simply, your role is about to change from being a doer to becoming a manager of AI.
And right now, there is a huge gap opening up. Leaders, it turns out, are adapting to this new reality way faster than their employees are. 2/3 of leaders are already familiar with AI agents, but that's compared to only 40% of employees. This right here is the agent boss mindset gap. And honestly, bridging it needs to be an urgent priority for all of us.
Now, when employees do turn to AI, their reasons are really telling. They're not looking for a replacement for a human colleague. No, they're looking for superhuman capabilities, 24/7 availability, machine speed, an endless stream of new ideas, and, get this, a space that's free from human judgment. We are already starting to delegate tasks to AI that humans simply can't do.
And this brings us to what might be the single most important takeaway for your own career. Your value in this new world of work is going to come from your ability to be an agent boss, someone who can build, delegate to, and manage a team of digital agents to achieve goals. It's all about amplifying your own impact far beyond what you could ever do alone. This is the new Career Accelerator.
So the big question is, how do you prepare for this future? How do you actually become an agent boss? Well, the path forward requires a new focus on a really specific blend of skills.
The World Economic Forum has identified the skills that are going to be most in demand. And yeah, no surprise, AI and big data is right at the top. But look at the rest of this list. It is filled with these deeply human capabilities: analytical and creative thinking, resilience, leadership, and a real commitment to lifelong learning. So the future isn't about choosing between tech skills and soft skills, it's about mastering both.
Ultimately, this shift to an agent-powered workplace is no longer a question of if, it's a question of when. The tech is here, and these new organizational structures are being built as we speak. So the only real question left is the one that's facing each of us. In this new agent-powered future, will you be the boss?